Friends, my next guest is a household name. When I first met Todd McKenny, decades ago now, some 30 years back, he'd arrived in Melbourne from Perth to pursue his acting career. Todd stayed. His story is inspirational. He started out at the age of 3. He was dancing at his mother's dancing school at the age of 3. It was during a minor lead in 42nd Street that I remember first interviewing Todd. And that was going to be the start of what would be a fantastic career for this young man. He has hit the heights of stage, cinema, and of course TV. His role as Peter Allen in The Boy from Oz, well, it played some 766 performances around Australia. And that was to really cement his career. Todd, a very big welcome to you. Lovely to talk to you again.
It's so nice to talk to you too, yeah.
It's
you're where it all began.
Yes, I am, yeah. And I remember giving you, and I still remember today, your first radio interview.
Yeah, you did. And funnily enough, since then, and even today, radio is probably my favourite, apart from stage, my favourite sort of medium to work on. And in fact, I'm just driving home from 2UE here in Sydney, where I do a Friday afternoon program with Stuart Bocking, and so radio has become quite a big part of my working life now, and I love it.
I'd like to think that I had a little part in that.
It's all because of you.
Well, you've got the talent, mate, and you really do. You danced there with your mum in the dancing school there, and we can go through that story if you want to, but that's how it all started. You came across here to Victoria, and look, it just took off in leaps and bounds for you, and I've been so thrilled to follow your career over the years and see what you have done and where you've been and where you're going. What was it like to do Boy from Oz?
Oh, well, it was kind of a slow realisation for me that I was in something really, really important. I didn't really grasp how much of an important step that was going to be for me in the big picture until, well into the run, actually, because I think Ben Gannon, who produced the show, and Gail Edwards, who directed the show, both had an idea that it was going to be, a career-defining moment for me. But I was young. I was just happy to be doing this lead role. I'd done a lot of musicals up to that, but only in chorus roles and slightly featured roles. So this was a big step, but I was just so excited to have the lead role in something I didn't ever project, I suppose, on myself, whether it was going to be a success and what that would mean. But sort of a few months in, when people would stop me in the street and say, "Oh my gosh, I saw you in The Boy from Oz," and 1.3 million people saw The Boy from Oz. So it was really the biggest Australian hit. And because of that, and because it was celebrating, I think, an Australian that people just absolutely loved, which was Peter Allen. And so I think because of that, it just, people took the show under their wing. And, I just became synonymous with it and with Peter Allen, and still am. And I soon realised it was a very important thing for me.
It was a fantastic show. I can recall interviewing you for that particular part, and we went along on 2 different occasions and saw it. I'm wrapped in Peter Allen's music. I think he was just a wonderful, wonderful artist, a great guy, and it must have been such a thrill for you to be able to play this man who had such an impact on Australia.
Oh, well, yeah, and also I was a fan like you were, so. Actually, the first one-man show I ever saw as a 12-year-old was Peter Allen at the Perth Concert Hall with my mum. We got free tickets. We didn't know who Peter Allen was at that point. And there's a lady. My mum had a dancing school, as you mentioned in the intro, and so one of the mothers of one of the students worked at the box office of the Perth Concert Hall. And I remember her saying to Mum, "Do you want to see this guy called Peter Allen?" And Mum said, "Yeah." And I was standing next to Mum, and she said, "Do you want to come?" I was, "Yeah." So we went along, and I have really strong memories of that first show. And then I followed him after that, and I bought all of his albums, and I was lucky enough to meet him and go to his shows. And so to end up playing him was actually, quite... It was different for me because I already had a big understanding of him. And I think that's probably why it sort of worked as well.
Todd, I suppose never in your wildest dreams would you ever have thought, way back at the age of 12, that you'd be playing this man on stage one day.
No, and you know what? In fact, because I was such a big fan of his and because I was aware of how loved he was, I actually didn't say yes to the show straight away when they offered it to me because I just didn't know. I didn't want to sort of ruin my fandom of Peter Allen's. I didn't want to kind of distort where he sat in my life because I was such a big fan. I thought if I do this, I'm going to get really tired of his music, and there is that possibility. And then, I won't enjoy his music anymore. And I actually didn't say yes straight away. And of course, I'm glad I did now because the complete opposite happened. I became completely immersed in his music, and I probably know his music, I would say, apart from his family, better than anybody else on the planet. And there were so many songs that people don't even know about that Peter wrote, which are brilliant.
Absolutely. And, of course, you received 2 Mo Awards for that too, for that portrayal. Yeah.
No, I did.
Yeah, congratulations on those too.
I don't get up every morning and polish them or anything.
Come on. With that grand piano at the end of that room there and your chairs all the way around and you're sitting up there, you've got some beautiful photos on Facebook. You really have.
Well, I do. Well, I open my house. I think you probably know. I open my house and do these high teas about 4 times a year. A lady once asked me where I rehearsed, and I said, I've got a piano room, but I've got this beautiful old farmhouse, and I said, I've got a piano in there, and she said, can we come and have a look? And so I decided to open my house, and so about 4 times a year I have 30 musical theatre fans who book and come over, and I do get the Mo Awards out for that, just for them.
Yeah, good.
Otherwise they sit in a private place in my office.
And some of our listeners may not know, but you are an avid gardener, and that hedge of yours, goodness knows how you keep that clipped back.
I know. I live in Pymble in Sydney's Upper North Shore, which is a very old part of Sydney, and it's Hedge City. They call me Edward Scissorhands, the North Shore. They reckon if I can't hedge it, it's not worth hedging.
It's not worth hedging? Yeah.
I can hedge anything, seriously, and I had no experience with hedges until I moved there.
Really?
But, now a lot of my friends will ring me and say, I've got this hedge, what sort of hedge should I put in? Should I put in a viburnum or a buckless or a Leighton? And I talk them through it. I can't believe I can even have this conversation with
You've got quite a green thumb.
I do. I didn't even know I did. I was baptism by fire. I bought this really old established garden, and I just had to learn how to keep it maintained. And it's now the way I relax. I get up every morning and I have my coffee and I wander around and see what needs to be picked up or neatened up or transplanted, and I find it really rewarding.
That'd be I suppose, a way for you to relax, wouldn't it? Because you're on stage and doing so many things. You've got Channel 7 and radio and so on, all going on. You need to be able to escape, don't you?
Yeah, I've got that, and I've got 2 beautiful old greyhounds that get me out of the house every morning. At the moment, I'm writing a new show. I
want to talk about that, yeah.
Yeah, we're bringing it to Melbourne, but my point is I'm in rehearsal studio a lot, so I can easily, because I'm a workaholic, I can easily spend the whole day inside working or rehearsing or, learning songs or writing patter or whatever, but having the garden and also having the greyhounds, it means I have to get out at least twice a day with them, and so it's kind of it's good having the dogs, otherwise
good
I'd
therapy.
be stuck inside. It's therapy, the garden and the dogs, yeah.
Todd, the new show, What a Life, tell us about it. It's coming down to Palms in December. You're already touring with it. What's the response been like?
Well, I'm in rehearsals for it. I'm touring with my Peter Allen show at the moment.
Oh, that's right,
Yeah, but What a Life kicks off at Glen Street Theatre in Sydney on the 7th of July, but and we're in full-on rehearsal mode now. So what it is I think a lot of people know me from, The Boy from Oz, obviously, and Dancing with the Stars, and I sort of wanted to educate people and show them the music that influenced me growing up. In the show that I'm doing at the moment, the Peter Allen Show, I look at him and the people who influenced his life growing up, and so like Judy Garland, Liza Minnelli, Francis Faye, that sort of thing. But in this show, it's about the music that led me to The Boy from Oz. So it's the songs of the stars I used to go and see, like Prince or Bette Midler or, and Peter Allen, of course. And like the first single I ever bought, the first album I ever bought, the songs my nana first taught me. And then we did that in the first half, and then in the second half we kind of treat it as a concert. And I've actually gone back to my musical theatre roots. So I'm tap dancing, if you can believe.
Very good.
And doing a bit of I've Got Rhythm and a medley from the musical Cabaret, which I did as well. And so it's got a musical theatre feel and then also a contemporary feel.
I sort of remember you tap dancing in 42nd Street.
I did a little bit. That might have been the last time, to be honest with you. I actually, funnily enough, I got my tattoos out. When I decided to do it, I got my tattoos out and they had mould on them.
Oh, go on.
I'm serious. I had to clean them up.
Oh, you should have put a picture up on that one. That would be good to see that photo.
They look good now.
Oh, good God. So you're coming down to Palms, and you've played at Palms many, many times before, you know it well, but it's a great space. And
it's my favourite room to play, I think, in the whole of the country, not only because the audience are very comfortable because those seats are great, but it's got so much technology. So we always put on a light show, like a great lighting spectacular, as well as the theatre show, because we've got all that production to play with. And Trudy Dalglish, who's my lighting lady, she's like a kid in a candy store at Palms. We've got so much to play with. And staff are great, and the crowds are great, and they sell out, and it's really good.
Well, I've got to say, it's on December the 3rd now. Your tickets have been selling so fast. You've gone to a matinee as well.
We have. we have, and I can't thank people enough. You know, it's a 900-seat auditorium, and I'm producing the show, and so you kind of cross your fingers when you book that room, because if it flops, it's an expensive flop.
That's right.
But we don't. We're over half full for the evening show, and so a lot of people asked if I would do a matinee, and I thought, yep, why not? So we've got the matinee up for sale now too, and I've got everything crossed.
Well, if you're a good Catholic, you'll do fine. Everything being crossed,
I'm good at something. I'm not sure if it's Catholicism.
Todd, I want to do something at this point.
What?
Without embarrassing you.
That's all right.
All right, listen. Now, you know that theme, of course.
I do.
You know that.
I do.
You're back with Dancing with the Stars, I believe.
Well, yes, I'm on hold, but I just don't know when it is yet.
Well, I notice in your diary there's quite a gap from the end of July through to about October.
Right.
So I sort of do know a little bit that... but look, I'm not going to say too much. We'll keep it between ourselves. I'll turn off the mic so that no one else knows. Mate, you've done such a fantastic job, and I'm not scratching your back here, but you have, on Dancing with the Stars. The way the producers and directors have got hold of the judges and moulded you all together, it's fabulous. It really, really is.
We're a good group, I think. Look, we don't tread on each other's toes, and also... we're friends, but if we want to say something and we don't agree with each other, we don't agree. But we don't carry it on. We never have a fight, and we laugh. That's the thing I love most about that show. Like Helen Ritchie and I particularly, we just laugh at each other and with each other.
Well, you've been there since the start, the two of you, and she's brilliant, you're brilliant, and look, I often sit back with my wife, May, and say, look, he's been told to do this, you know what the producers are saying,
But you know what, I haven't.
No, I know, but it looks like you have. And the way you respond, it's just absolutely wonderful, and if it weren't for you two on that show, well, we wouldn't have quite the same sort of a show. Shane Bourne...
I don't know that everybody would agree with that. I think some people want to knock my block off. But
but that's part and parcel of it.
But look, it's the way I was brought up. I mean, my mum taught me to dance, and Helen's tarnished with the same brush. I mean, we could just get up there every night and say, that was lovely, darling, that was lovely, darling, that was lovely, darling, but no one improves with that sort of stuff. And we're also both of us are very well aware of we're putting on a show as well, and so you've got to colour it up, and so we do, and it's been 12 years. We've had 12 years of practice, and so it's been a real gem for me, that show.
Well, I think the Americans are on the 23rd show or something, aren't they now? 23rd.
Yeah, they are, but they did two for every year for a long time, and we did two, and then we went down to one, only because we don't have the population.
Yeah, that's probably right. Yeah,
I love that show. That's
so
12 years, and I still love going to work, and I still love seeing what each group of competitors bring to it, and each show has a different core feeling to it.
Yeah.
Depending on how competitive the cast are and stuff. And I like that too, of finding out what type of gem we've got to play with this series. It's interesting.
It really is good. I want to be in the audience this time round. They often advertise it on 7, so when the ads come up, we'll be in the audience this time. And
mate, I get 2 tickets per show. You ring me.
Oh, all right. Okay.
You can have mine.
Okay, well, I'll get yours. That'll be lovely.
Yeah. Don't give my number out on air, though.
No. Mate, there's one thing with broadcasters, as you know, because you're in radio too, and personalities you interview, you never give out any private information.
No, I know. Do you know what? I had that chat to Dicko a while ago because I lost my mobile phone. I left it in a taxi.
I know. I heard that on Channel 7 this morning.
Oh, it was just like, oh my gosh. And so I said to, so I rang the people who I could remember who I had in there, and I rang Dicko and said, look, I'm really sorry, I've got to tell you that I've lost my mobile phone, so if people can get into it, your number's going to be there. He went, well, that's a shame. He says, it shows you how strong my currency is. Nobody's called me.
Well, I heard that on Channel 7 this morning. They were going through all this lost property, the taxi place, and your phone, your Nokia, was there. Yeah. So I meant to mention that to you. Todd, look, I'll be in contact. We'll get those couple of tickets off you. That'd be great. Mate, you've been a great, well, I'm going to call you a friend over many, many, many years. Love your career, love your work, and I'm just wrapped, mate, that you gave up time to talk to us today.
Yeah, no problem. Now, I'm just going off to see that movie as we speak that you were talking about before I came on air. It sounds brilliant. I was literally driving to the cinema from Macquarie Centre, and I didn't know what I was going to see, but you've made my mind up.
Oh, go and see it. Take your handkerchief or your tissues with you.
Yeah, I gather that.
Yeah, it is beautiful.
Yeah,
beautiful.
All right. Well, thanks, Lee.
And when you've seen it, look, let me know. Give me an SMS and tell me what you thought of it. But I thought it was brilliant. Yeah, 4 out of 5. Good to talk to you, pal.
Good on you, mate.
Okay,
See ya.
take care. Bye-bye to you.
Bye.